I'll do everything I can to get you some answers here. It's good to see you. I appreciate you getting on with us.
We're going to take our first question from Tom Canavan, the AP.
Hey, Greg, spring's coming to an end pretty soon. What are you going to tell yourself at the end of this? Are you going to sit down and say, I need some time off? Do you tell your coach the same thing? What happens?
Well, time off's not really in the cards because recruiting becomes live June 1st. So the month of June is really recruiting visits. We'll have some official visits and some unofficial visits, and then camps. So we are allowed to host camps, and we'll go to satellite camps off campus. So it's a busy, busy time, and then hopefully we can get the coaches can get some time off in July to recharge before we start back up in August.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Gonna go to Chris Eisman with Gannett.
Greg, you mentioned last week wanting to see if Cole or Evan could make a jump. Did either one of those guys take that step or stand out during practice?
I thought they both practiced pretty well. Again, they're young quarterbacks that are figuring it out, and they're getting a lot of reps. So a lot of things come up when you get reps. So it's perfect for them right now. But they've both made some plays that I was really impressed with, and then they both did some things that you say, well, they haven't played a lot of football at this level. So there's no replacement for experience. So they're getting some very, very valuable experience right now. To say that one's separated, I don't think I can say that right now, no.
Bobby Darin, 24/7.
Greg, how is Noah? I mean, how's the ankle? Is he able to do everything? And what are you concerned about that being a long-term thing?
No, I think he's progressing. I think he's going to be fine. He's done a lot in the spring, so it's not like he hasn't gotten work. And he'll get a lot this week as well. So, no, he's making progress. I think all the quarterbacks are making progress. You always want it faster as a coach, but we're getting better.
Gonna go to James Cratch, NJ.com.
Greg, is the plan to keep Crimin at center this year, or do you maybe reevaluate with some younger guys moving up, whether you put him back at guard?
Nick is a guy that gives us some position flexibility inside, Kratz, so that's a good question. We're going to move. We have been moving. He's been getting some work at guard. He's been getting some work at center. Our goal when we come out of training camp next year is to find who our best 5 linemen are. And it might look markedly different than what we looked like last year, because to get the best 5 on the field at the same time, some guys may have to change position. So what we're trying to do is see who can do what this spring. And, with some guys that have been bumped up, had some surgeries, we haven't gotten a look at everybody, but it's been a great chance for other guys to get opportunity. So, I'm not sure to make – he could be at any of the 3 interior positions. Yeah, I don't think you'll see him at tackle, but he could be either of the guards and center.
Gonna go to Chris Nowalski with Rivals.
Hey, Coach. Obviously, we know at wide receiver that we know what Bo Melton can do and Shamin Jones and Cruikshank can do. Has anybody else, any of the young receivers, kind of made a step up this spring so far?
Well, I think the receiver core as a whole has taken some steps. Isaiah Washington, I don't know if you mentioned him. He's played some around here. He's had a good spring so far. No, I think as a group, the young kids are figuring it out. To learn all we do a full install in the spring. So for a freshman receiver to really learn everything now is a big, big bite. They really got to work hard to understand it all and to get lined up and then to be able to play at a high rate of speed. What I see now is I think we're going into practice 10 now. They're starting to get it. They're starting to play faster, because when you think, it really slows you down. And they're starting to pick up speed. So I can see now that means they're more comfortable with what we're doing. And, I think we'll have some depth at the receiver position. I didn't like the fact that we predominantly only played 3 receivers. I'd like to play more than that. we have more receivers that are worthy to play, I think, coming up this year, so we'll play more.
Aaron Brightman on the banks.
Coach, you touched on special teams a little bit last week. I was curious how the approach is with the kicking, the two kickers. Is it more of a competition versus development right now in spring, and versus the place kicking, but also kickoffs?
Well, it's always competition, but Valentino is the number one kicker. He's proven that through the season. He's continued to prove it during the spring. Fava is improving, though, which is good. We need him to. We have not worked a bunch on kickoffs. It's been mostly PAT field goal work for them. They've worked a little bit. We haven't installed kickoff yet. That'll either be this week or the following week. That's the one special team unit that we don't work on a ton in spring. We do some individual work for it, but not a lot of teamwork.
We'll take a few more questions. Going to go to Anthony Fusilli, Rutgers Radio Network.
How you doing?
Hey, Fuch.
Two questions. One, did you learn anything about your team so far this spring, with the challenge of them getting better every day? And number two, was that a hanging curveball you gave up in that went yard on you in that wiffle ball game?
Well, let me deal with the most important question. We had 3 teams, and it was a one-hit playoff to find out who won the spring wiffle ball tournament. Fuch, I did not bring any of my stuff, all right? That was truly BP at its finest. I wanted to have somebody win so we could declare a winner, because I played a lot of, I didn't go to much class, but I did play a lot of wiffle ball in college in the springtime. And as you know, how you cover those holes, it dictates everything. So now, what was your serious question? Oh, did I learn anything about my team? Yeah, we're learning as we go. Our guys, I am very pleased with how hard they're working. At times we make mistakes that are repeated mistakes. That frustrates me. But you also got to remember, these are kids that are involved in final exams, right? They're at the end of the semester. They're handing in papers. They're working hard to stay up, and then they're actually doing spring football at the same time. So I think you got to give them a little grace on that. It's going to become unusual here pretty quickly when they end final exams on Wednesday. Now school's out and they're still practicing football. So to me, that's commendable, right? That's not when you're supposed to do spring football. We are doing it because of the outbreak we had of Corona, and I feel bad that we're cutting into their break. But again, this is a valuable time, and we missed it year one. We definitely have to have it year two. So, but our guys are great. They want to win, they want to get better, and they're willing to make that sacrifice. So I'm proud of the way they're working. They're doing a heck of a job.
Ready to take 2 more questions. We're going to go Richie Schneiderite with Rivals.
Hey, Greg. So one of the biggest surprises last year for the depth chart was probably Holland Pierce being the backup left tackle. Recently, we saw a photo of him working out at right tackle. How's he progressing as a player?
He's an interesting guy, Rich. He, we're blessed to have him in the program. I mean, a lot of people are now taking credit for him, but he kind of got dropped on our doorstep, and he was quite a bit heavier. He did an incredible job working on his body. He lost something like 50 pounds through the nutritionist and Coach Butler and his people and Dr. Pat and his people. They worked very hard and got his weight down, and he's a very big man who is very athletic. He's young, he's inexperienced, but we're trying to get him experience as fast as we can because he's got a great deal of potential, and really a great guy to have on our team, a very pleasant guy, and goes really hard. He's got a bright future.
Our final question goes to James Kratch, NJ.com.
Hey, Greg, last year at games when you were watching warmups, Jameer Wright Collins passed the eye test with flying colors. What have you kind of seen from him, and do you think there's a kind of a space in the offense for a more physical back like him?
Well, it's a good question because he is a fine player. I mean, he's a very, very gifted guy. I mean, you just look at in high school, he high jumped 6'11". That's like 5th best in America at the time for high schoolers. So he's a rare talent. He has to develop as a running back, and we're working hard on that. And some of the things that he was, could get away with in high school, he can't get away with in the Big Ten. but he definitely is a player that we're excited about. And, he did some things for us on special teams. If you remember, he was on the right tackle on our kickoff return and did some things on our kickoff team, made some big plays. So he's a talented guy. I'm really pleased with our running back depth overall, and he fits right in there with a bunch of guys that are working hard. But to say more physical, I don't know if there's a more physical back in the league than Isaiah Pacheco. I mean, that guy runs hard. So, it's nice to have two. We got kind of a nice mix. We have two big backs, and then we have two guys that are, a little more elusive and really good in the pass game and all those things. So I like our backfield where we are right now, and we're going to be adding some people too. So it's an exciting time in that room. Coach Hoffman is doing a really good job with those guys. Well, look, I appreciate you. Like I said, I appreciate you getting on, and we're winding this thing here. This week will be a huge week for us. We go Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday is the plan, and then we roll into the spring game the following week. So, again, really, really excited about what our guys are doing, and really, really excited about our men's and women's lacrosse program. I want to congratulate them and wish them the best of luck going into the NCAA tournament. It's fun, they play in the stadium, and we've got a chance to peek out there a little bit at them, and I'm excited for both their coaching staff and their players. They've had a great seasons, and now it's time to go into the tournament. So best of luck to them. Thanks, guys.